Good afternoon. My wonderful wife Ann, who is a native Wayne Countian, has long emphasized to me that because I was neither born nor raised here, that I would never be considered anything but an outsider. But I've got to confess that after almost 40 years of living here, I'm beginning to feel downright comfortable and even a little bit accepted. Thank you for allowing me to speak to you this afternoon on this most historic occasion. I do feel extremely honored. There's a little sign that hangs in the office of the Wayne County Fair Secretary under the grandstand that always kind of catches my attention. It reads, "If you're lucky enough to live in Wayne County, Ohio, you're lucky enough." I'm here today as Wayne County formally marks its bicentennial anniversary to tell you that, by my reckoning, truer words were never printed. If you are lucky enough to live in Wayne County today, you are the beneficiary of 200 years of some of Ohio's most colorful history, proudest traditions, ingrained values, and most forward-thinking progress. And you should be hugely proud of it. Actually, Wayne County was sort of lucky right from day one when in 1805, following the signing of the Treaty of Fort Industry, the government of the U.S. opened the lands for settlement here. You see, even before the coming of the pioneers, the area that was Wayne County was actually an epicenter of Native American culture in the state. Three of the main trails through Ohio, routinely used by the Shawnee, Delaware, and Wyandot tribes, intersected less than half a mile from this very spot, down at the bottom of Madison Hill where the village of Lenape Chief Beaver Hat once stood. These were the Great Trail, which is today U.S. Route 30, the Peace Trail, which is now U.S. Route 250, and the War Trail, which is today State Route 585. It was these trails through a vast and forbidding wilderness that brought the first pioneers to the area that, in 1812, would be formally organized as Wayne County, Ohio. Almost from the start, Wayne County was lucky enough to have a diverse culture which has served us well as we grew and developed. The single largest group of pioneers to immigrate into the area were the Germans, coming from the counties of Lancaster, Lebanon, Bucks, Berks, and Lehigh counties in southeastern Pennsylvania. Drifting in from the state of Connecticut's western reserve lands just to the north were hardy New Englanders, bringing in completely different customs. Also coming in early on and settling in the eastern part of the county were Mennonites, escaping persecution of their native Switzerland, and French immigrants who formed settlements both in the northeast and southeast portions of the county. Thus, Pioneer Wayne County became something of what I would characterize as a melding pot, with each of these initially highly individualized groups learning from each other and eventually adopting the best elements of one another's culture. They banded together to form the rock-solid foundation and formidable framework which is the platform upon which our county has operated and progressed ever since. But even that foundation had to be set upon bedrock principles, values, and virtues, not the least of which was hard work. Look around you at the farms that remain here today with their huge barns and their stately houses, and their outbuildings and their productive fields, all wrested from what 200 years ago was an all-encompassing wilderness, and consider the immense amount of work that went into creating them. And yet that hard work was actually one of the great joys of life here. People worked hard for the sheer pleasure and the tremendous sense of satisfaction it brought, and being able to show others what their work had accomplished. Another value that served us well from our younger days was a deep-seated sense of frugality. The old Wayne County farmsteads were actually monuments to thrift. There were enormous, well-stocked barns made from the very trees that grew on the land where they were built, and simple outbuildings were constructed with massive timbers to last for centuries. Our farmhouses overflowed with all the necessities of life, and yet not one thing was ever wasted. And it is a county where the roots of faith in God run deep. All across Wayne County, the very first public buildings to be erected were meeting houses, and they played a vital role in community life here. Although these were a house of God on Sunday, The rest of the week, the meeting house served as the town hall and, as the name implies, a common meeting place. These meeting houses typically occupied what became a choice parcel of real estate in the developing village, often being located at the intersection of major thoroughfares. An excellent example of this, in fact, would be First Baptist Church in downtown Worcester at the corner of North Market and Larwell Street, where the congregation will proudly celebrate its 200th anniversary later this month. Look at the land that is Wayne County. It is a great land. It is the land that was trod by untold generations of Native American tribes. It is the land where John Chapman planted apple orchards, the land that the Larwell brothers drew their surveyor's chains across to initiate the settlement of the first town here, where General Rezin Bell drove thousands of troops to fight in the War of 1812, where Patriot Colonel John Sloan of Worcester gave of his own fortune to clothe and feed the soldiers of that conflict, and where August Imgard cut and decorated the first Christmas tree in this part of America. It is a land with a proud military history which sent more of its sons to fight and die on the battlefields of the Civil War than almost any other county in America. It is the county of Major General David Stanley, General Aquila Wiley, and Captain George Emmerich. It is the county of superlative businessmen such as Ephraim Quinby, Jacob Frick, David Freelander, Smith Orr, William Annett, Adam Foss, Jerome Smucker, John and Peter Schmidt, Gene and Don Bueller, and Stanley Galt. It is a county of lawyers like John McSweeney, John Jeffries, the Rawson and Critchfield families, and educators like Professor John Everly of Smithville and Arthur Holly Compton. It is the county of physicians, the stature of Dr. Leander Firestone, Dr. Joseph Todd, Dr. Frank Siebel, and Dr. Bernie Huff, and sports figures like Charles Follis, Dean Chance, Dick Shafrath, Bobby Knight, and Kilbuck Mary. Over 200 years, it has been an ever-growing, ever-evolving, and ever-improving kaleidoscope that includes Morton Salt, Mennonites, the Millbrook Mill, Mauer's Sweet Corn, Layman's and Lurch's Donuts. It encompasses Mount Eaton and Warner Hill, Rogues Hollow and the Shreve Swamps, Golden Corners and Big Prairie. It is Amish enclaves, the Ramsire Potato Farms, the Wayne County Historical Society, and the courthouse. It is the Daily Record and the College of Worcester, and the Wayne County Fair and the University of Akron Wayne College, and the Worcester Brush Company, and of course, the weather. And it's Bobcats and Bulldogs and Huskies, Titans and Generals, Red Riders and Indians, and so much more. It is a place that still understands and still cherishes the concepts of volunteerism, community service, giving back and paying forward, and how something as simple as the casual wave of a hand to another passing motorist or buggy driver can both brighten a day and strengthen the bonds among those who live here. And now, we have arrived at that great milestone of 200 years, with so much history left along the trail that stretches out behind us, but so many more exciting adventures still to look forward to. If we are successful in the time that lies ahead, in combining the deeply ingrained core values and principles that have served us so well over 2 centuries, with our best instincts in terms of progress and innovation, then the people of Wayne County have a very, very bright future to anticipate. It would be my fondest hope that 100 years from now, a speaker at Wayne County's Bicentennial celebration would still be able to rise and proclaim, if you're lucky enough to live in Wayne County, Ohio, you're lucky enough. Thank you, and may God continue to bless the people of Wayne County.